So sleep allows our brain to rest and recover. It is also during this time that our brain gets to adjust, and this is where we settle all the stress during the day. So this is where your brain recovers, and during this time, your brain also takes out all the free radicals. Actually, there has been a study already that proves that during sleep, your brain gets rid of free radicals that lead to Alzheimer's disease. So this is one avenue of research right now. The other good effect of sleep is it promotes hormonal balance. So during sleep, your stress hormone or cortisol goes down, and growth hormone spurts during the first few hours of sleep. So growth hormone promotes repair and restores all the proper things in your body. With your cortisol levels going down, this also controls your blood pressure, controls your cholesterol, controls your blood sugar. So having a restful and quality sleep every night is very, very helpful.
But Doc, you mentioned quality, because sometimes, we have that number in our head. I think growing up, we were told 8 hours was essential, and then sometimes people say 10, or people take pride in the fact na, oh, I slept 12 hours. So parang, when it comes to the time of the number of hours that we should sleep, is that as important when you compare it to restorative sleep? I mean, quality and quantity, rather.
Yes, of course. No. Studies will say 6 to 8 hours of sleep would be the best for a person. It is known that as we age, the need for sleep goes down. But ideally, 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day, straight quality sleep, is the best.
But when you say the need for sleep, because I feel like as we age, I don't know if we can relate, but even I see it in my parents that they sleep shorter. Like, mas maaga silang gumigising, or sometimes like, I still want to sleep, why am I awake, right? So does it mean that as we age, we need less sleep, or is it really just a function of aging that it shortens?
Yes, it's a function of aging, and for some people, as you age, the activities lessen in the day, so the need for rest
is less.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's important to stay active even as you get older.
And we hear the term burnout. So from a medical perspective, how does burnout play into the whole factor of sleep?
Okay, so burnout is basically an emotional response to the stress. So it's like your body gives up. Okay, when you lack sleep, okay, your cortisol levels are very high. Okay, and when your cortisol levels are high, it's like your body is in a high alert mode all the time. So eventually, if you can imagine your body being in a high alert mode for most part of the day, you will eventually tire out. For 1, 2, 3, if that lasts for a week, for months, for years, eventually you will tire out. And if you lack quality sleep, you don't have that restorative sleep because of your growth hormone spurt and the decrease in the cortisol at night, your body won't be able to recover and repair as well. And this will contribute to the burnout as well. And one thing is, as I said a while ago, your brain usually, this is the rest time for your brain. During sleep, your prefrontal cortex this is a part of the brain that adapts to stress. Okay? If this part of the brain doesn't get to rest, okay, eventually it will tire out, and this is when it will manifest as burnout. So it slowly chips away from your energy, the emotional capacity to recover.
So there's this thing called chronic sleep deprivation. Like you said, if you constantly are like that, depriving your body of sleep, your body basically gets used to it, right? And what are the long-term health risks of losing sleep?
Okay, so number one, basically the most damaging effect of lack of sleep will be to your heart, okay, or your cardiovascular health. As I said, if your cortisol spikes, supposedly your cortisol will spike during the daytime. But if you don't get quality sleep at night, your cortisol will be high all throughout the day. And having high cortisol will bring down your immune system. It will bring up your blood sugar, bring up your blood pressure, and bring up your cholesterol. So these are the metabolic effects that we don't want. It's like a perfect storm for a heart attack or a stroke. So having restorative sleep, having your cortisol levels down at night, and having your growth hormone up at night will be very helpful to maintain a healthy body.
Okay, so you heard it from the expert. We need our sleep. Kasi sometimes we hear about it, diba? Oh, may na stroke, or oh, may na heart attack. But then, and you think, oh, they exercise naman. That's what we always lean towards. Oh, they live a healthy lifestyle. But we often neglect sleep, right? But Doc, we want to know, what is the perfect environment for good sleep in terms of room temperature, lighting, mattress? What would be your tips?
Okay. So basically, a cool room will be the best. Will be conducive for sleep. They said the recommended temperature will be around 18 to 22 or 23 degrees. Okay, but of course that depends on how much cold the person can tolerate. Of course, having a dark room will be very good for sleep because it affects the urinal. It has a diurnal effect in your body. It makes your body know that it's time to sleep and time to rest because it's but usual for a person to sleep at night and be awake in the morning. So having a dark room is very helpful. Of course, having a mattress, a very supportive mattress that won't produce any hot spot or any pressure spots will be very helpful as well in promoting good quality sleep.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc. Everybody, a round of applause for Dr. John. Thank you so much, Doc, for giving us very, very relevant information. Did that wake you up in terms of how important sleep is?
Yes. Yes,
Doc,
ma'am.
narinig mo naman. So once again, everybody, a round of applause for Dr. John.